Okay, if you've been following along in the Sega Harley Davidson restoration thread, then this will be the last video because I'm done and excited to set it up on legs for the first time and really play the crap out of it. I've played it the way it is on my my cart here, but it's just not the same. I'm sitting down the whole time. I'll show you the setup again after, but the main issue I was having on this game was the motor. Voila. That guy is what operates this entire mech. The motorcycle going up and down and up and down. This motor, this mech is responsible for that. And this is the trough for the 4 balls to lock into the assembly there. And, you know, all of this is really 2 screws. So I thought, oh, that can't be that difficult. But nothing's ever simple in pinball, or I should know better. Let me see if I can zoom in here. So I thought I would still try and get away without removing the whole assembly. There is a set screw right here. You can't see that yet. I can show you after, but there's just no way to access that set screw and get an Allen key in there. You can access the screws okay on either side, but so the trick to dealing with this thing was to remove this spring like so, and then you can remove this whatever you call that. Now all you need to do is disconnect the 2 connectors and 4 screws, and this whole thing comes off, and then you put it on your bench and it makes life a lot easier. So what I also did to make life easier was cut the wires. And why I did that is because look at this connector here. This connector has a capacitor and a light in it. I forget what that light is actually called, and I forget what it actually does, or maybe I never even knew. But there's 3 things crimped into each of the 2 housing holes here. So rather than try and re-crimp all that together, I just cut the wire, and you can see right here that I did a nice shrink tube job to make it look like nothing ever happened. So that has been replaced. And oh yeah, what I did when I reassembled the motor was I went like this. Okay, put my spring on and played the game, and I'm like, oh no, the motor is not working. What the heck else could it be? It's the only last thing would be this relay board, or the relay board, but I was pretty sure I ruled that out. So then, of course, if you caught it, you probably figured it out already. But yeah, I forgot to put this back on first, and then the spring. Once I did that, I got my motor running, and it's been perfect ever since. So always when restoring machines, it's these unique mechs that seem to be the main issue. And at least this one was resolvable, except it wasn't cheap. You know, it was over $200 for that motor. So what else did I do? I feel like there's, oh yeah. So these weird stern switches, you know, the plasticky ones, can't really see from this angle too well, but one wasn't really working very well. I kind of tinkered with it before and thought I got it working better, but I really just never did. So what I did was basically just take the entire thing apart. There's a front and back side, and then there's a little circuit board, and then there's the target itself. So technically 4 pieces. You can take them completely apart. So I reflowed this solder on the mini little circuit board, and then I noticed that the 2 halves of the housing weren't really like locking in, because there's these 2 little feet on the bottom here, and those are like the clips, and I think the clips are just well worn, and so the top and bottom half of these housings were kind of like almost sliding a little bit. So I thought maybe that might have had something to do with it not being consistent. So I took some electrical tape right here all the way around the switch, just to hold those 2 halves in place nice and tight, so that it's, you know, structurally sound now. And ever since I did that, it works perfectly. So that was the last of the finicky issues. And I just had to, oh, actually, you know what? When we were doing a little bit of play testing, the neighbor was over, Jay, shout out. And here's the rig I was telling you about. Like, it's not on legs, it's just sitting on a cart. I have the back, if you can see here. I can prop up the back of the machine on that crap back there just to give me some pitch when needed. So that was the pitch. And Jay, on his first game, broke my drop target, snapped the head right off. So I had to replace that and then transfer the target decal over from the old one to the new one. I don't think I've ever actually done that before, because I've usually just bought new decals, but there's just one drop target. I didn't need to buy a whole new set, so I thought I'd try and peel it off. And I kind of just like took my finger and got an edge and slowly peeled it off. Then I used crazy glue and a Q-tip, and I like spread the crazy glue all over the face and made it, you know, a good amount, so that when I put the decal on, I could actually position the decal and into the right spot, and that worked really well. Then while I was in there, I noticed that one of the other drop targets, the feet had broken off. So I had to do surgery on that one too. But for the second one, what I did was, here, let's do this for fun. Maybe I'll brought out this other drop target. It's not the same, but it's a decal that I don't care about. So what I did on this one to get the decal off, much cleaner, nicer, no bending, no nothing, was I just took a razor to it, like so. I didn't heat it up, I didn't cool it down, I didn't lick it, I did nothing to it. All I did was take the razor and just slowly, now this might not work on this particular decal, because this is like way older, and I think this is made of more paper material. I think the newer like Sega Stern decals are more of a mylar type thing. But I did this with the Sega target, and it came off nice and cleanly. Yeah, that's kind of like papery. So that's how I got it off, and it was like perfectly flat, straight, flush, and went on so nice and easily with the crazy glue and the Q-tip. So a couple drop targets, and that was pretty much it. There was 4 LEDs that I had to do in the slingshots because I ran out of that particular kind. 2 SMD frosted natural whites I need to place an order, actually. But yeah, I ran out because this machine took a fair amount and used up the last of my stash. So motor, drop targets, stand-up targets, LEDs, and reconnected my tilt bob, because when it is on this rig, it's like kind of always touching. And yeah, I think that is everything that I have done since the last update, but that is Sega Harley Davidson project complete. And the last thing I got to do, where did my legs go? I got some legs for it. Oh yeah, they're there. I cleaned up the legs, got new leg levelers on there. There's the nice black Sega legs. And you know what I just got in the mail today? Just for fun, I should show you, because these look friggin' awesome. They're from the Drapple store, Eddie Durazzo. And if you want to really spice up your machine for a very reasonable price, look at these. I think that's called anodization. So that's purple anodized leg bolts, red, gold, and blue. So I thought of maybe going with gold. And I just did 4 just for samples, just to do the front legs, because who's ever looking at the back leg bolts? I mean, just be kind of a waste. I mean, they're pretty much the same price, I think, as regular leg bolts. So I guess you could just do all 8 leg bolts, but just for sampling purposes, I just got 4 of each color. And I decided I'm gonna just go with probably standard chrome for the leg bolts, but I'm excited to explore my options with the anodized colors. Like on Monopoly, could pretty much go with anything. It's got every color. But yeah, like maybe red for TX Sector. How cool would that be? And even red for X-Men. And what else? What would be good? I guess red for Walking Dead too, but where would purple go? Purple, oh, here we go. Ghostbusters. Oh, wait a minute. Pinball Magic. Purple. Purple on purple? Maybe not. That purples would clash. The 2 different types of purples, but chrome looks good on these guys. I always find if you look at this at the wrong angle, it kind of looks more brown, but when you get some good light on it, you can see the purple and the little fleck in there, but depending on what angle you're looking at it. But yeah, so anyways, that basically is the end of Harley Davidson. So look at this. I have created a space right here, and I'm setting it up tonight. I'm gonna play the crap out of it and looking forward to it. It's actually, I didn't realize this, it was like a really low rated game, but in my like 50 games of play testing on the bench here, I found that the game really encourages you to shoot basically every shot on the game. There's a few different main multi-balls. You're really trying to collect your miles and get to where you gotta go on your motorcycle. I think from one end of the country to the other or something, but I'm really digging the game so far. Why is it rated so low? I do not know. Is it underrated, or am I just in the honeymoon phase? Well, we'll be doing a gameplay video soon enough, so stay tuned. I'm silly. I can't like show you that the game is complete and then not show you what it looks like when it's complete. So almost forgot to do that. I was just gonna show like, oh, should I show the drop targets? But this is the official completed Harley Davidson Sega shop job. And I forgot even to mention that I installed a Cliffy as well in the scoop there. It was really easy to do. Didn't have to do anything from the underside at all. Just remove the posts and the plastic and slip it on. It was easy breezy. Here's the drop targets I was talking about. Can you tell which one was replaced? And one was on this side. Can you tell which one was replaced? Well, I'm hoping the answer is I didn't think so. And yeah, so that's it. LED'd, cleaned up, shopped up. I don't know if I mentioned, but I went with these like machine metal gray Cliffy posts. Probably did, just to go with the kind of metallic look wherever I could. There's another one over here. And then the Titan orange flipper rubbers. But she is looking pretty, and I am excited to play the crap out of it. The machine's so flat, I just launched the ball and it just hung out over there. I have no pitch on the machine right now. But yeah, so that is the finished product as it goes into ball search.